there you are.
I thought you would be under there, hiding away from everything, hoarding toilet paper. Although the world is a little bit crazy right now, it's not actually all that bad. And that's why a group of YouTubers called WeCollab have compiled together some silver linings in this situation. Watch and enjoy, and maybe you might learn something to get you out of that little crazy hidey hole that you've been hiding in.
So a real silver lining of the virus for me and being quarantined at home has meant that I've got to spend a lot of time with my wife and my two sons. I have a 3-year-old and a 4-month-old. So it's been nice just to be at home, to have no traveling needed to do, going to work, because I live substantially far from my work as well. It means that I'm quite tired when I get home and they're asleep when I get back. So it's been nice to see everybody first thing in the morning, have the first part of the day, no need to rush and get lunch and rush out the door and travel to work. And then even while I've been at work, although I'm in the office here for a lot of time doing like preparing PPTs or teaching or doing other stuff, like there's always the chance when I go out to go to the toilet or go out for a glass of water, want to take a quick break, I can go out and say hello and just hang out and see what they're doing. It's been really nice just to be at home and be together as a family.
3 months ago, this location behind me was once a flourishing street market with vendors everywhere. Today, it's completely gone. This is what it looked like before. And this is what it looked like after. This comes as a consequence of the government trying to raise awareness for its citizens regarding the consumption of wild animals. Although it hasn't been 100% confirmed, one theory is that the epidemic started in a street market such as this one. Here you can see workers in trucks taking the street market down. And the Chinese government has put a temporary ban on the selling and buying of wild animals. You can see banners put up all around the city telling locals that if they know of anyone dealing in wild animals to report it. Here I ask a local about what has happened to the street market. 你的市场怎么没有了呢？都给打了，都是这样的吗？为啥呀？不知道，才打的。因为野生动物吗？因为野生动物呗。
Michael, I actually live in Guangzhou, which is the southeast portion of China, and I'm going to be focusing on the trends on developing better technology for fever detection in China. Now, as most of you know, these kind of events can affect the economy not only in China, but also worldwide. So more measures have to be taken to have a safer work environment. Like in my example, at least in my city, most, if not all malls, need to have a temperature check. In my company's case, they actually started developing more and more technology to kind of detect these kinds of fevers or any kind of illnesses you may have in the workplace. So just showing you an example here, you have a group of people that can be together and it can simultaneously detect the temperatures of all the people, and it will sound an alarm if there's any suspicious abnormality. And this technology has not only been developing in China but also in Singapore. Many Chinese workers that work in Singapore now have to go through a swab test that was developed in Singapore. This swab test can detect if you have the virus within hours, regardless if you have a fever or not.
The first thing that I want to talk about is the effect on the environment and air quality that we can see because of the situation. NASA revealed a few satellite photos of the Wuhan area and China at large, and it was showing the difference in air quality between Chinese New Year 2019 and Chinese New Year in 2020, because people were locked down, people were not going anywhere, and a lot of industries were shut down so that there was no cargo traffic either. You can see a clear improvement in air quality all over China. So you can see here in some of my shots that, well, in fact, air looked so much better these days. Another interesting thing to see, somewhat related, is that the Chinese government, given the situation, has decided to extend the subsidies that they were offering for people who want to buy electric cars. So hopefully this blue skies that we are enjoying these days could be a permanent thing in the near future.
Anyone that's been to China before has seen the whole kind of attitude of first in, best dressed, or take as much as you can carry, especially in the retail kind of business area. Now, this kind of makes sense with the demographic in China because Essentially, 1 minute of idle chit-chat could mean the difference between 1 minute of a buying customer. So you standing there, holding your wallet, deciding what you want to pick off the menu, you're generally going to be bumped to the side by someone who is ready right now and ready to pay. Now, during this time where people haven't been able to go out as much, or perhaps they're not working, it's given people a chance to slow down, appreciate things a little bit more. And you'll see suddenly people are standing in lines. Suddenly people are offering, you go first. There's both customers and workers alike pointing out when somebody pushes to the front of a line saying, hey, sorry, go to the back, it's not your turn. This is something that, to my experience, doesn't really normally exist in China. And it's just been really nice to see people following the rules and being more courteous to each other. And I suppose it will be one of those things that we'll just have to see if it stands the test of time.
So another silver lining of the virus has just been to save money. Like, there's so many things in daily life which add up little by little, like catching buses, eating out, all these kind of things which you kind of just don't really notice or take for granted, that once you're not doing them and you're staying at home, you realize exactly how much money you are saving. There's all like the little knickknacks, like a snack, because you've gone past a snack shop, like, oh, just, you know, pop in here in Starbucks and get a coffee. It all just adds up. And when you don't have to do that, when you just stay at home, it is fantastic how much money you save.
So I'm looking at the news right now, and these front page headlines are enough to make an average person panic. And what is boggling my mind is that countries have had almost 3 to 4 months to prepare for this. I had so much faith in the world that they would have taken actions just like China did. China did an amazing job with controlling this thing. Then again, you might say they blocked off entire districts, they wouldn't let people go out, this and that, all kinds of drastic measures took place. And that's it. It had to be drastic. Now look, China's numbers of cases are going down. So if you look at that number on the top left that says 81,003, that is the total number of cases China has had up to this date since the outbreak. And at the very top of that number where it says plus 11, that's how many cases that have added on to that since yesterday. So plus 11. Now let's look at this graph right here. Now the range of dates on this graph start from January 20th and go all the way to March the 12th. Now let's look at this gray line. This is the total number of confirmed cases on that given date. You see how on the 20th of January, it starts rising and rising and rising and takes a major peak between February 11th and February 13th. And then after that, it starts going down slowly, slowly, slowly. And until today, it's almost completely gone. Now look at the green line on the graph. That's the total number of recovered cases. And you see how it starts to slowly climb up as the number of confirmed cases start to slowly go down. It seems like a lot of lessons can be drawn from China's playbook here, but there are some things that we can do as individuals. That is, treat everyone kindly, respect everyone, and improve.
Now, the second positive thing that I want to mention has to do with the type of work that I do. I work with a lot of children, Chinese children, and we all know how prone they are to picking their noses and doing like these nasty things. Even though we disinfect every single desk at my center, this is always a bit of a problem. And again, it's not a China-specific problem. Children all over the world do this, right? But I feel that with all the time that children have been spending at home and with all the severity of the consequences of the lack of hygiene and lack of cleanliness, I believe that a lot of children have heard an earful of recommendations about, well, how to be more hygienic, not only at home but also in public. So I hope that this is also going to change in the classrooms. If in the past it was a little bit difficult to tell children not to do this, I suppose that now it's going to be very easy to tell them, hey, 这是我们的中国，不要病毒，对不对? So children are going to see that, well, there is a connection between their personal habits, hygiene habits, and, well, the world at large. So hopefully that is also going to help change something that, in my opinion, would have taken generations to change.
No matter which country you visit, you're always going to get some form of competitiveness between different areas. whether it be the north, the south, the east, the west, specific cities, genders, races, minorities, you're going to experience this competitiveness that can sometimes get aggressive or racist or discriminatory against things. And it's been something that has actually been really positive to see. Instead of kind of hating each other for it and thinking it's their fault, let's blame these people, let's ignore or get hatred against them, they've got a very beautiful, in a way of banding together and saying, you know, let's unite, let's pray for these people. We've seen a lot of like memes come out of it. We've seen a lot of people's videos and that come out that essentially are prayers and wishes for the people in affected areas. And you'll see the whole concept of like, we stand with you, like standing together as one and uniting. Like when you look at the population that's in China, to see so many people kind of band together and unite in one to say, like, we're with you, we are one, we're strong together. It's a positive thing to come for it, to see countries unite together, although they may be different in their viewpoints or religion or government systems, to band together and fight something as a world is a really positive thing to look at. And, you know, it just makes you wonder what more we could accomplish if the world banded together more often.
The next aspect is better hygiene practices at the workplace. The world is not going to stop spinning because of a virus. Same applies to business. Actually, in our city, we started working on the 10th of February. So in my case, the following measures have been taken in a company that has thousands of employees. More people are being aware and washing their hands more and more often. The sanitation of private vehicles and temperature checks twice a day. You also have a chance to get a workout in because you can't take the elevator anymore. You have to take the stairs to go to your office. You can see signs that are spread all over the offices about better hygiene practices during this situation. You actually have more controlled food distribution where you have to order food the day before instead of going to the canteen, and then they'll directly deliver it to your office. And lastly, more respect for meeting room capacities and the safety bubble to make sure you keep a proper distance between you and your colleague. And I'm sure many other companies in China are following these same kind of practices.
Well, here we go again. Lockdown. It's day number 3 of Snarky Guy's incarceration. Confinement. Self-imposed exile. House arrest, detention, the Huskow, La Casa Grande. The big house. Shanghai. Snarky's been shanghaied in Shanghai. Thank you very much, Ick from beyond the Chengjiang River. You're really cramping my style, you know that, funky lung parasites? Lockdown. The irony. It's another way of saying that otherwise healthy boys and girls have been frolicking outside China, you know, beyond zombie playground zero, should immediately hunker down inside their apartments for 2 weeks of self-imposed quarantine so as not to infect those that have not already been infected. The question is, are you tired of being bored? Wouldn't you like something to do while you're under quarantine? Of course you would. Simply follow these easy steps and you'll be rid of that quarantine boredom in no time. Step 1. Take up a new hobby. I recommend watching the new Star Trek Picard while listening to a little Justin Bieber. Oddly enough, it helps to make a little more sense. When conventional entertainment is no longer an issue, you can always turn to alternative television. I call this one Dunk Tank. It's where we take contestants from all over the apartment, dunk them in a large tank of water to resolve their disagreements before they get hopelessly bleached and or dizzy. I tell everyone my favorite player is Sock, but the truth is, I'm really hoping the Bra Twins win out. Last step, put that cup down, are you ready? You're not going anywhere, and considering few places in your apartment have not been graced with your own buttocks, this is a great time to reinvent yourself. Sure, the wife may say, "哎呀，你有没有搞错?" But you know what? Secretly, she supports you. Congratulations! If you followed the steps of this video to the letter, then odds are you are now no longer bored. Of course, the makers of this short clip are also not responsible if your wife or girlfriend smothers you in your sleep, or your Chinese mother-in-law calls the authorities to come to your house, have you locked away in a mental institution for your own sanity. But hey, either way, you're now no longer bored.
I know that originally in our plan we said that each YouTuber would have 2 ideas, but I have a third one that I feel compelled to share with you. Through this experience, I have been touched by the generosity and the camaraderie, and I know this is YouTube, I say camarade, the camaraderie of people that you know, or people that you don't know very well, or people that I've just met through YouTube. People who contact me, for example, telling me, hey, I have imported 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 masks from Europe or from Portugal or from America. Do you need any masks? How can I help you? People that are reaching out to almost strangers, trying to help other people because we know of the different situations that we're in. In my case, I was approached by at least 3 people offering to send me masks. I did what I thought was the honest thing, which is to say, hey, I'm okay, I'm fine. Me and my wife, we have enough masks for ourselves. Offer these masks to people who really, really need them. And well, also something that I did is I got in touch with Walkabout Rojo, who you know he was locked down in his university by himself, and I offered him, hey, I'm not too far from you. I can drive to your place and bring you whatever you might need. So keep in touch. Let me know if there's anything that I can help you with. So this situation did bring generosity and camaraderie, as I said, that surprised me because I wasn't really expecting this. So I hope that this kind of friendship that we have started, given the situation, will last a long time.
Hopefully, these reasons have opened up your eyes a little bit more to the silver lining that can be the bad situation. Now make sure you head down there, like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget also to do the same to all the other channels of the guys on here too. Their links are down in the description below. I'm Straya guy in China, and I don't have a clever sign-off.